Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining My SiSStaS Keeper for a special edition, as we will be joining today with producer Lynn Sisson Talbert.
So welcome. As you are making your way in, for those of you who are Facebook Live with us today, we do want to thank you as you are tuned in with the My SiSStaS Keeper special edition, as Lonnie B just said. But I am Andy Rose.
And I'm Nita Pearl.
I am Pumpkin Spice.
And I'm Lonnie B.
And together we are
My SiSStaS Keepers.
SiSSTAS.
Yes. And that's better than the radio, right?
Yes. That is speaking to someone so they achieve success.
And so just to tell you a little bit about My SiSStaS Keeper, as you can see, we all are 4 African-American sisters who are from 4 different sororities, who actually came from 4 different walks of life. And we came together to dispel the myth that sisters could not work together. We have been running this show. Actually, this is our 3rd year, ladies. Going into our 3rd year. And so we are truly honored to actually be coming back since the pandemic to actually talk about something that has changed, I believe, every household and changed the trajectory of the way African Americans actually look at our future of our Christmas stories or our children's holiday stories, and how we look at them, because now we have something that we can attach to our own. So that is truly, we're excited about that. Now for the social platform, we are actually streaming live, Facebook Live. We are streaming also Twitch Live. There's also, if you would like, you can post a comment. We'll actually have a question. If you have a question, we'll try to get to them. But if not, please know that we will respond to your questions either during the show or after the show. So be sure to tag a friend, tell a friend, text a friend, and share this live with a friend. And we hope that you'll enjoy the remainder of the show tonight. Andy Rose?
So today, for those of you who are tuning in, you are in for a treat. You are in for a treat. Today, we are discussing the Netflix hit Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey. And we have special guests, and many of you have seen us advertise this and publicize this, but we have special guest producer Lynn Sisson Talbert in the room today. And so we are super excited about that. So again, as Lonnie B said, feel free to put your comments in the chat so we can discuss with Lynn.
So before we bring our special guest in, if you have not taken the time to see this fabulous movie, spoiler alert, we're going to suggest you stop right now. Go ahead and go to Netflix and watch this movie first, as we're going to be taking a pretty deep delve into the movie, discussing some intricate details and scenes. So you may want to go ahead and watch it first, then come back and watch this show, and so that you'll have better understanding of what's being discussed tonight.
Absolutely. We can give him a teaser of a trailer if y'all like.
We can do that.
We can, but I think Nita Pearl has something for us though.
Okay.
So as we all know, if we've seen the movie, it has reimagined what a Christmas musical can do and what it represents, particularly for little Black girls. This is a magical winter wonderland with something very different. And that is Black faces at the center. And that alone is something worth celebrating. So as we talk today about this movie, let's be reminded that magic, although it may be forgotten for a time, but it's always there to be awakened.
Awesome. So let's show a little bit of just the trailer, and then we'll bring Miss Lynn in.
Absolutely.
Once upon a time, there was a place unlike any other. A world of wishes and wonder that must be seen to be believed. Do you think you're ready for it?
And as Pumpkin Spice said, we will give you a teaser. So if you haven't watched it, you might want to back out and go watch it because we will probably spoil it for you. So you might want to press pause and come back in and we'll reconvene and have a part 2 to the follow up of uh, Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey. So Andy Rose, let me know when you're ready for me to bring in Miss Lynn.
I know we're really excited about this, but I just want to like set the stage for everyone that's at home so they know who's coming into the room. And so, when we talked about, I know Native Pearl talked about the magic and the magic that was happening within. And so, when we're talking about that, we're talking about magic. And you know what's magical? Unicorns. Unicorns are magical. And so when we speak of unicorns, when we think of a Black female producer in Hollywood, our unicorn is in the room today. And
Yes.
Yes.
I want to set it up for you because many people don't really kind of know who she is. So let's walk through this. She built a groundbreaking producing career in theater with 11 sold out national tours and unprecedented distribution deals for her productions through DVDs, network, and streaming platforms. She had a company called Golden Girl Incorporated. Y'all, I'm an entrepreneur, and all the other three of us are entrepreneurs. And so when we look at that, basically, she managed a 40-member national touring production of the musical comedy Mr. Right Now, which was sold out performances. And so when we talk about Jingle Jangle and it being the next hit in Netflix, I'm elated, y'all, because I'm excited. When you have people walk in, you have legends who walk in the room, you have mentors who walk in the room. And so we're about to be fed. And so without further ado, I want to present to you our unicorn of the evening, for none other than producer Lynn Sisson Talbert.
Thank you for that
Lynn.
amazing introduction. Wow, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. We are honored. We are humbled just by your presence. Again, congratulations and kudos to all the success that Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey has received. You had Rotten Tomatoes, 98% Rotten Tomatoes, because Roger Ebert, if it was the other one,
Certified fresh.
and Certified Fresh, and so many other outlets who are just raving about this movie. And so we just want to thank you. And so as we get into this, we want you to know that this is your moment. This is your platform. We are here to be fed and poured into by you, and hopefully we can do the same as well. So let's just jump into the questions if you do not mind.
Sure.
So when we look at Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey, why this movie? Why now with what's happening in our nation?
Well, we've been working, this film has been incubating for about 20 years. And David, my husband, who's the writer and director of the film, David Talbert, this idea came the year we got married, actually, in 98. And it was originally going to be a Broadway production. And as the years went by, we were, adding certain music, doing certain things, and it wasn't quite right, so still incubating it as we did many other things. And after we had our son, Elias, who is now 7 years old, something just really clicked. And as we're trying to show him our favorite films of old when we were children, like the Mary Poppins of the world and Annie for me, for David, it was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is one of his favorites. He tried to show our son Elias, and Elias, he's like, we're going to watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and this is my favorite, and he's singing the songs, and David goes to sit down with him, and David's watching, and he's all in awe, and Elias is like, okay. He's like, can I go play with my Legos? And he's like, you don't like this movie? And so it hit David, on Eliza's wall is Miles Morales, is Black Panther. And so he couldn't really connect to that film. And it just solidified how we need to see ourselves in productions like this, especially children. They need to see something that's representative of them. And I said to him, why don't we do it as a movie? And from there, it's like, wow, because that just expands it from stage to a film. So he had pitched it to a few places and with not the best results. And we had done El Camino Christmas at Netflix with Ted Melfi, who wrote Hidden Figures. He brought us in on that, and David directed that, and I produced it, and Ted wrote it. And while we were there, it was a great experience, great fun film. And he went in, they wanted to talk to him about some other projects. Went in the room with Nick Nesbitt and Scott Stuber, who's the president. And he asked him, what are you guys looking for? He said, well, we're looking for some big ideas. And he said, well, I have a big idea. And he told him about Jingle Jangle. And he said, all the time, every year, I'm looking for something that, can show me. And I realized for my son, there's nothing out there like that. And he said, I never looked at it like that. He said, you're right. And we should do something about it. So he pitched them the idea and they bought it in the room. And they said to him, don't write budget, write your imagination.
Wow.
And you never hear that. That has never come out of an executive's mouth that I know. And from there, he just felt free to imagine, free to build on a creative idea. And, I had always been incubating the idea of how it would look and different things like that, since it was a period piece. So that was the start of it all. We shot it for 8 months in London. We, have been creating and working on this film for 2 years, came back from London, went into post, was in post for a few months, and then the rumblings started happening of the pandemic. And we were actually on our way to London to do some additional photography with Felicia Rashad. And maybe a week before, I was like, something's not right. I don't know about this. Everyone's getting nervous. And I called her and I said, Miss Rashad, I'm going to have to pull the shoot. I'm not comfortable taking you out to London. If something happened to you, I would never forgive myself. We'll figure it out. She's like, no, Lynn, I'm ready. Let's go. And so I was like, no, I don't feel good about it. I said, but we're still going to make it great. Don't worry. And that's when literally 2 days later, shut down. All the borders shut down. So we were posting a film like this, visual effects, CGI from our home. And, we did it. And I'm just so grateful that all of you have responded to the elements that you've seen. It's been a dream come true. And I did not know that the timing was going to be as perfect. Of course, I would have loved to have it in theaters, this and that. But I'm more appreciative about bringing some light and some love to people right now with everything that has gone on in this country in this short time period. So.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That I'm sorry, go ahead, Pumpkin Spice.
That was Nita Pearl.
That
Oh,
was Nita.
sorry.
I just want to ask you, what do you want the viewers to take away from the film? What do you want us to gain by watching?
I think the themes of the film are what I really want them to take away. For me, when I was even making that song, The Square Root of Possible, is what got me through. I needed to find my square root of possible for that film. And that was the little girl in me that I wanted to see when I was little. So there's so many themes: forgiveness, family, love, make it work again, finding your square root of possible. All of those things I went through myself, even while making this film. And I want families and individuals to take those themes away also. And I also just celebrating us as a culture, celebrating natural hair, celebrating African fabrics, and all of that, celebrating soulful music. I want people to see that we're more alike than we are different. And we want the same things for our families. We want the same things for our children. And we need to support that within each other. So I think there's so many things that can be taken away. It just depends where you are in your life at the time. And I'm loving the little kids, the little boys and girls singing the song, and I'm loving little girls wearing their Journey, hairstyles, and it's just I've been filled throughout watching the response and seeing the audience and seeing all of you feel what I've been feeling.
It's so funny that you're saying feel what you feel, because I remember when I watched it and I was like, and I actually text Bootsy and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, but let me finish watching it. So when I watched it, I didn't call Andy Rose. Andy Rose ended up calling me, and we talked for, I think, about 4 hours, just about so many things that we saw, from a spiritual standpoint, from a cultural standpoint, from a personal standpoint, as a young girl, as an adult. And, I know one of the things that I recall was me saying that we as adults, we will try something and we'll forget it. And if we don't succeed, we'll say, okay, I tried it, and we'll put it on a shelf. But
Mhm.
just like there's always that younger person who's looking at us, and they have that sparkle in that eye when they see us, and to them, we're still a superstar. But to us, it's like, oh, it didn't work. And so we were talking about how we forget that it's up to us to keep the spark lit in our kids, and that they can continue to dream, they can continue to fantasize. And there's nothing wrong with dreaming, there's nothing wrong with fantasizing. We all did it. So for me, that was like, I mean, there's so many ways that we talked about this show, but for me, it was me never forgetting that I have a responsibility to the little brown girls that look like me, to let them know that you can dream. And if you don't succeed, pick it back up. You don't never have to stop dreaming. You never have to stop going. You never have to stop moving forward. It can always happen. And one day you'll have a show like My Sister's Keeper.
That's right. That is right. That is absolutely right. And it's also just showing, because everyone's knowing, thinking that, oh, I can only be in front of the camera. It's like how you're producing, Lonnie B, and I'm a producer in film. There are other avenues, and I feel the same way you do, opening those doors for people that look like me to have an opportunity to do what I'm doing as well. If you saw in the film also, there's new talent in there, breaking new talent. It's important. We have to open doors for people. We have to give people a chance, because if it's just the same, then what are we doing? You have to build on that circle, so that it gets bigger and bigger. You have to open doors and unlock those doors for people. And there's room for everyone. There is room for everyone. You don't have to be the only one. Touch someone, bring someone up in it, teach someone, give a lesson, even if it's only a day or an hour. Do something for someone else, because I believe if you do things and you give with other people, you will receive as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shirley Chisholm said, if you don't have a seat at the table, bring a folding chair.
Thank
Right?
you. Thank you.
So there's always room. There's always a place. As long as there's space in the room, you can be in the room. And if not, create your own room. And that's what this movie talks about: creating your own and being okay with it. And so you kind of talked about gifting, Lynn. So we kind of want to walk into. So we call it the movie has so many hidden Easter eggs, right? So many Easter eggs. But we kind of want to give back to you. And so this is our gift. We want to kind of talk about our 4 distinctive takeaways and our gifts that we received from the movie. And so we're going to ask you yours. So think about it as we're going through of what gift was for the movie. So Pumpkin Spice, what's your takeaway?
So one of my takeaway, there were so many nuggets throughout the movie, and one of my main takeaways was Journey, her interest and the innocence of the child. And you kind of spoke initially in regards to how your son, how you um, tried to incorporate some of your old holiday movies, and it just wasn't connecting for him. So to see the child, just to see the all black cast, number one, you know, kind of took me. But the entrance of Journey with her grandfather and the innocence of a child, her persistence, and knowing what she knew about her grandfather and what she saw and what at that time initially what he didn't see, and just her persistence in trying to spark things back up with him, and trying to just saying that, hey, I can do this, you can do this, there's still that light. Even though he kept shooting her down, she was watching, she was paying close attention. So that really, really captured me, and just that she was persistent until the end, until she got him back on board, and he was then able to see what he thought he'd lost.
Yeah.
So that was one of my takeaways. And then the quote, at the end where he said, "Don't be afraid if people can't see what you see. Only be afraid if you're no longer able to see it."
That's
So
right.
that one really, really stuck with me.
Oh, thank you for that.
Awesome. Nita Pearl, what's your Christmas gift?
So my Christmas gift was the mending of the father-daughter relationship after all of those years. Um, Relationships are very important. Little girls love their daddy, and after the relationship seemed to be um, irreparable or unrepairable, whatever the correct terminology is, um, it just shows when Jessica came to pick up Journey, and they were able to actually have a conversation, and it was not a very deep conversation, nor was it a long conversation. It was just the right conversation. So for them to be able to actually talk and to mend in just a short amount of time, that was my takeaway. The healing of the father daughter relationship.
Mm. Yeah, that was a big one there. That was really important to us, because sometimes like he said, in the beginning when the grandmother writes, and she says many times he sat to write, but I guess "I'm sorry" hadn't been invented yet. So then when he said it in the end, it was perfect. Yeah.
Lonnie B, you're next.
So it's me. So, okay. So for me, it was Buddy 3000. And the reason it was Buddy 3000 is because as soon as the heart of the core of his being, of existence, was inserted in him, it didn't work because Jonicus didn't believe, but it worked because the pureness, as Pumpkin Spice said, the innocence of a child to believe that it was going to work, that it couldn't do anything but work. And it did. And I remember Buddy saying, they were saying, well, why haven't you never worked? And Buddy 3000 says, because no one believed. And
Yeah.
so many times we lie dormant in our gifts, in our talents, in our calling for the very same reason, is because we are looking for just that one person to believe, that sitting in that room at Netflix, the executive saying, don't, don't, don't write this by budget, write it from the heart. For me, that spoke volumes because, as you all know, I brand people, and I kept pushing you all to do everything. But that spoke to me because you all always tell me, Lonnie B, you can do it. Lonnie B, you can do it. But I put it in other people. I'll push y'all off the cliff. But I have to now realize that there are people who believe in me. There are people who actually can see the potential in myself. So it's up to me now to look inward and believe, like Jonicus had to. And when he believed, everything worked. I
Yeah.
mean, Buddy was phenomenal. I'm waiting on him to come out because I'm sorry, this adult kid will have a Buddy 3000.
I'm with
That was
you
my
on
gift.
that. I'm
That was
with you on that. We're definitely working. But yes, you're so
So
right about believing.
She did, yeah, and so when we look at believing and reconciliation and love, I think my Christmas gift, my favorite, so the movie is my favorite, right? And I just want to thank you because you don't know how you bless me. Sometimes you got to hear it, and so I'm going to go in this. I'm going to go in the spiritual realm with this. So follow me. So as we're setting up, we talked about believing, and so basically, believe is to have faith. And so then there was we know there was Don Juan Diego. And so Don Juan Diego was created for the innocents to give love to the world. But when Don Juan was activated, Don Juan did what is happening in our natural realm, that the spirit and the enemy takes over. And so the enemy plants those seeds of doubt and those seeds of manipulation and the seeds of lying. And so what was created to be so great for the world, and it's kind of like that God and Lucifer. God created Lucifer because he was the most beautiful of them all. And so Lucifer was the fallen because he made that choice. Don Juan made a choice because he did not want to be duplicated. He wanted to be the only one. And so therefore he got in the heads of other people who had their own gifts. And he manipulated those gifts. And so it's so beautiful because in a sense where God sent his only begotten son, Jesus came in the form of a child. Journey was a child who had to reinstill into her grandfather who he was, and who they were, and what was already in the lineage, that that she could see what he could see. Because to be in love with the Father is to hear from the Father, to know from the Father, be able to operate in the spiritual realm of the Father. And so I think when you look at who we are, we'll get it wrong, right? But if and it's another thing, if you don't lose what you have, you will lose it, but it's not gone. Now you just have to reset it, because again, it has to be reactivated. So that come home to God, the prodigal son comes back and says, you know what? I'm going to operate in my talents. I'm going to operate in my gifts, because the world is waiting for me. The world is waiting for me. And talking to my girls, to every Black girl out there, the world is waiting for you. You have a unicorn in this room today. And again, Black female producers, and doing it the way she does it. Thank you for that. And so that is what I take away. And the world is waiting for us. And so we have activated.
Thank you, Andy. And I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but David Talbert was, raised in a family of preachers. His great grandmother was one of the founding pastors of the Pentecostal church. So his father, his mother, his grandfather, his great grandmother, a whole family of preachers, and in the pulpit. So the pulpit for him has been this stage, the stage of this film. So you receiving those messages are intentional. So because that is how he tells his story, that is how he preaches his sermon. So I appreciate that, because it is there to be received.
That will preach, and it did preach. And so
Oh my God, it did.
That's the word.
There were
so
so
now,
many.
go ahead.
I was just saying there were so many, you talked about Lucifer and the prodigal son, but there were so many other nuggets, even with the, how Jodicus wanted to send letters to his daughter, but he never could,
But he
because
never
he felt
did.
like he felt like he didn't know what to say. He felt like, to me, I think he felt like he had given up. And so many times that's how we are with God. We feel like we've given up on God, or we've walked away from him. But we always got to remember that, it's just like he's just waiting on us, just like Jessica was just waiting on her father. And so here his journey comes in, and she's the conduit. She's the mediator. She's the one that comes in and says, Grandpa Jay, you still have it. And he was ignited when he realized that something that was of him had went down 2 generations and was still, and that she could see what he once saw. So, I mean, it's just, there are so many spiritual nuggets in that it's just, yeah.
You can always come home.
Yes,
You
yes,
can
you can
always
always
come home.
come home. And it's like sometimes you just need that person. Because I mean, Geronicus, he was going through so much pain. He lost his wife. His daughter was a reminder of what he lost. And so he couldn't even see her anymore because of the reminder of what he lost. So when you think of that, sometimes people push you away because you remind them of the good that they had. What are
Mhm.
those things that are going to bring them back? And it's like for him, he'd rather be alone than to be reminded of the pain, the biggest pain of his life. So Journey coming there, not having any baggage, any preconceived notions, anything, because her mother only spoke good. She never heard anything bad about her grandfather. So all of that, it just played a role in sometimes you just need someone, as you guys said, to just give you that courage, to just help you and tell you, you are the greatest and you still are. So yeah.
Yeah. Is that your Christmas gift or you have a favorite part for us?
Ooh, I have to say my favorite part. Wow, there's so many because, like I said, I've gone through so many phases of the film. But I would have to say now is the song "This Day" because David and I, being together, married 22 years, and in the song it says, "All our lives we've waited for this day." I didn't realize that how much that song spoke to us and where we were in our lives and the leap that we wanted to take in our careers. So right now, it's that song. It took the square root of possible. It took believing in possibilities to get to this day. So right now, that's the state I'm in. It's this day and being appreciative for this day and appreciative that people are responding the way they are to this film. So I would say that's my takeaway right now.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I think we're gonna move into, and so I guess kind of piggybacking off of that. Um, I know we talked about like the movie, the culture that we saw, like the hair and everything that was just so. I mean, when I tell you I kept rewinding it back, I said, "Wait a minute, is she dreads that are wrapped up?" Felicia,
Yes. Yes.
why is it so natural? I'm looking at the different styles and looking at just like you said, the clothing, the songs. Again, this movie's gonna make me cry, laugh. I think I laughed when he said, "Oh, you got backup dancers." I'm like, oh yeah, this is real. The first list of, oh, this is really going to be a musical, right? Because I think
Yeah.
like, okay, sometimes movies have songs, and he was like, okay, this is oh, she is dancers.
Right.
Yeah, I cried several times. Several scenes. I'm like, oh, is that what one with the revelation of when Journey, when we realized that she wrote the letter to her grandfather and to her mother.
Yes.
So when we find out that she orchestrated this whole thing, and I'm like, oh, that was like my third or fourth crying moment in the movie. Like
Yes.
it was just so much. It was so heartfelt to me throughout.
It was.
Thank
That last part of just waiting when he gave at the end, when he brought back the gift to him. And it's just like God said, if you just waited for me, if you just waited for me, I had everything for you. I never meant to cause you harm. I just needed to make sure you were ready.
Ready.
That you
Right.
were ready. And so
But
here I give it back.
and
Yeah.
that also was with him. But now let's talk about y'all know me. I'm gonna go to the whole total opposite extreme. Let's talk about that Sister Johnston.
Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson.
Miss
Very
Miss
just waited.
Very.
Oh, isn't she wonderful? Lisa Davina Phillip. She
Oh
did
my
an
God.
amazing job with that. And you guys don't know, but what the backup dancer with the glasses,
Mhm.
he's the songwriter. His name is Philip Lawrence,
Okay.
and he wrote all the songs except for Make It Work that John Legend wrote.
Okay.
Yeah, so he wrote co-wrote a lot of the songs with Bruno Mars, all those big hits with Bruno Mars. And if you watch any of the videos of Bruno Mars, you'll see Philip in there. He's one of the hooligans in there with the glasses and the style. And he's always like popping his collar and all of that. So Philip and Davey Nathan and Michael Diskent were songwriters on there. Philip was the lead songwriter. And I was like, Phil, you got to come and do this scene. You got to be one of the pips, we called them.
Mhm.
So that was amazing. That was amazing.
And that whole little spin, his little spin.
Yeah.
Every
He
time.
got it down. He learned that choreography, I think, in a matter of an hour.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It was good. And like, Miss Johnston, she's like, so, and I love just breaking her character down because most people would just saw, oh, she's desperate. I
Yeah.
said, no, but see, this is what y'all miss. Remember these labels like they like to give Black women, you're missing the message, right? Because you're labeling me. So, she was an entrepreneur. She went and bought a whole truck so that she could make sure that the packages got there on time. She leveled up. She was caring. Like at the end of the day, but she was a widow, right? So she was hurting too. And so her hurt was expressed in the form of what she saw, because just like every woman sees in a man, we speak life into a man. And so you don't see your potential right now, but I know you're in there and I'm going to be here with you thick or thin. And so she was just holding them down.
That's right. That's right. She believed in Geronicus too,
Yes.
As she said, love is not in what you lost, and it's in what you still have. So, I love that character. Definitely one of my favorite characters.
And everywhere while he was hitting a roadblock, she appeared.
That's right.
Every time he was hitting a roadblock, she appeared. And he's like, Miss Johnston, all I want is my mail. And she's like, okay.
She was there for that
encouragement.
But she became Miss Bunny and Clyde. Like they did Bunny and Clyde. And she took him to the place and was able to pick them up and get them out of there. I was like, see, that's your ride or die. You don't even realize it.
Yeah.
She was there at the right time for the right moment to be an encouragement.
Yeah.
Most
Absolutely.
And even Edison and Journey, they were each other's partners in crime, as well. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love this. So Edison, was he created from a real life? Is it based off of a real character, or was he just?
Oh no. So Edison Latimer is his name. In the film, there are a lot of hidden gems and Easter eggs. That's one of them. Edison, the name Lattimore was who really invented the filament for the light, as Thomas Edison, and he was a Black man, So we gave a lot of names that you'll see all throughout the film, buildings and different things named after firsts, like Thornton Music was labeled after Rosetta Tharps, who was known as the first female of rock and roll. One of the buildings named after my father, Lonnie Sisson. His name was Lonnie. Dr. Lonnie Sisson was the first African American to be licensed in the state of Nevada as an optometrist. And so that's called Sisson Arms, right next to Jangles and Things. Then there's A&M Woods Suites, which is named after David's great-grandmother, Annie Mae Woods, who one of the founding members of the Pentecostal Church. So there's a lot of different things that you'll see throughout, a lot of Easter eggs. If you look on the trunk, when Geronicus opens it, it says Wakanda, Country of Wakanda sticker is on there. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing, like we didn't know that Chadwick was going to pass away. Yeah. And so that's kind of like a nod to him. When I created the hairstyle for the grandmother, I specifically wanted those types of locks. I said I wanted Terry. Oh gosh, sorry, my mind is gone. The author. Oh my God.
Terry McMillan?
No. She just passed away.
Oh my God. Great hair. Her hair looks just like.
Yeah, her hair, great hair. Oh my gosh, my mind is gone.
Alto tenor voice. I know who you're talking about.
Yes. They did 2 movies based on her books that Oprah did.
Oh, I can't think of it. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's
okay. We're gonna hit it
Yes, we will.
But it was her and Lena Horne who I merged together. I said I wanted this character to be the shape of the 50s, but the dread like that, because I always felt that the grandma, Toni Morrison, thank
Toni
you.
Morrison.
Thank you,
Yes.
Valerie.
Thank you, Valerie.
I swear my mind. Thank you, Toni Morrison. And so when I called Miss Rashad to talk to her about the hairstyle, I told her, she goes, "Oh, I'm gonna call Toni and I'm gonna tell her that this hairstyle was inspired by her." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, really?" So we were actually on set shooting Miss Rashad's scene that day, and I got the word that Toni Morrison had passed. And so I wanted to tell, Miss Rashad before she got to her trailer and happened to find out. And she just, buckled, oh, it was just heart wrenching. But I said, look what we were able to do. This is inspired by her. So it's a way that, she'll be honored as well. So, there are these things that happen that we didn't know were going to happen, but, gave us the opportunity to honor some people that we hold near and dear in our history and in our hearts. So.
Wow, that is awesome. You were able to pay homage to a lot of people. That's what I said.
Yes.
This is Black culture at its finest, right? Black excellence is what we like to call it.
Black history.
That's
Black,
right. That's
yeah,
right.
Black history that is still being made, right? So we
Yes.
can tell our own story. But we're going to transition because I know we really want to get to, you have a special project, Pumpkin Spice. You kind of want to lead us into that?
Yes. So, Lynn, we are super, super excited to also hear that you're adding author to
Yes.
your list of things. So, if you want to tell us a little bit about your new project,
Yeah.
what's it titled, what's it about, just give us the spiel
Yes.
on that.
So we have right now available for pre-order some Jingle Jangle books. The first one is The Square Root of Possible, which is a beautiful hardcover picture book. I did this through Penguin Random House. And it's a cute little Christmas story that follows Journey and Geronicus, something sweet that you can read to your little ones. And then I have a middle grade book called The Invention of Geronicus Jangle that's also available. And with that book, we did an audio book. That book's for 10 and up. And that book, we did an audio book as well. And I was able to have a full circle moment there. And Felicia Rashad reads the audio book for that story. And
Okay.
anyone that orders the books right now, you will, if you upload your receipt, you'll receive the Square Root of Possible song from the soundtrack for free. All you have to do is upload your receipt to jinglejanglesong.com. Here's the invention of Geronicus Jangle, and there is Square Root of Possible back there. Thank you.
Hold it back up for us one more time, Lynn. There it is.
Yay! And then you see
Awesome.
which way am I going?
Oh, you said
Yeah,
she's in
that's
the background.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And Felicia Rashad sounds so beautiful. And since she plays the grandmother, it was just perfect to have her read the audio. So, you don't have to stop there. You can end your nights after watching Jingle Jangle with your kids and sit and listen to some Jingle Jangle stories. And it's available everywhere where books are sold, Amazon, Target, you name it. You can find it anywhere online or in stores December 1st.
Oh, okay.
Perfect Christmas gifts.
Yes.
Perfect. And to all the teachers who are out there listening and watching, yes, your students need to hear this. Play it in the beginning of class, play it at the end of class. Again, I know I'm a former principal, and so we used to play the Disney soundtracks all the time. And I just feel like I'm super excited to be able to blend this in and watch. You're standing there, you're like, oh, you can hear the kids just sing along. You never expect to know what they know, but then when you hear them singing from the beginning to the end, and I was in the store the other day and I heard a little girl singing the Square Root of Possible, and I was looking. I said, well, I should have recorded her. Sometimes you're just in awe, but I shouldn't have. I should have asked my mama first, but if she would allow me to, I think that is so awesome. And so,
oh, I love that. And I tell you guys, this was even more important for us because I felt like we need some original stories. You know, it's like all
Yes.
of these remakes are great, you know, but we have so many stories to tell that
Yes.
we need original stories that are representative of us. And that's what I want the world to see and Hollywood to see, that we need to create original stories that feature people that look like us and support that and make it as imaginative and magical that we can, featuring people of color.
Oh, Valerie, Valerie,
Valerie.
I would love for you to read a few pages of this on Storytime Chill with Val and Seal.
Absolutely.
Val- Valerie,
Absolutely.
after our interview, Valerie, after our
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah.
She's getting a plug in.
Shout out to Maurice Wilkinson for connecting us and hooking us up. That's my very, very, very good friend. He's been here from the beginning, from when David and I met. That was one of David's college roommates. So
Okay.
we actually ended up being better friends. He left David as his friend and became mine.
I know. I will tell you, Lynn, I met Bootsy during What Goes Around Comes Around in Dallas.
Oh my goodness.
1996, I believe,
Wow.
94, somewhere along in there. And then, kind of like you, my mother kind of took him under her wing and kidnapped him. So he became her friend. And it was just, but so I remember when you and David were engaged and you all came to Dallas. And I can't remember what play it was, but I remember. And it was so funny because I saw on your post, I saw an old picture of you and David. And that is the Lynn that I remember. But yes, so I mean, I've been following David since the 90s. So to
Wow.
see this and to see from the talent to go from stage play to movie to a musical movie, that I don't believe that I have seen any African American writer, producer, screenplay do in today's time is impeccable. So for me, I am just elated that I've even been in the presence to say, hey, and to see where he is today. I truly believe that this has changed the trajectory of what we will see in movies, that will create legacy
Yes.
and will be household films. So it's gone from, every I think every writer has had their season. And I think this is David's season. I believe that this is you all's platform, the woman producer to rock it and waiting on, to see what you come up with, because it is changing the mindset that you can believe. And it doesn't have to be what you've already seen. Be brave, be bold, as Andy Rose says, be brave, be bold, do something that has never done before. So I'm really, really excited. So yes.
Thank you, Lonnie.
So,
Appreciate
so does that mean we see is there talks of Broadway?
Absolutely. It was always going to be a Broadway play. So now, absolutely. I see this, and David, all of us see this as a perennial piece, year after year, every holiday. You know, I mean, this film is international. It's been translated in 32 languages. So there's someone right now, in Russia watching it, in
Oh,
Saudi Arabia, in China. I've watched it in Mandarin. I've watched it in Hindi, because I'm just like in awe to see these characters, speaking these other languages. And so it's really special. It's really, really special to see what has been done, and that, our territory has spread and everyone is seeing what you guys see and feeling what you guys feel, So it's been a really, really special time. I'm just really grateful.
Yeah, it is. I mean, y'all have really just leveled up, just one of those things, we talk about, we're going to always support our culture, right? We're going to be at the box offices because that's what we do. But then when you see it and it's actually, it surpasses
Yeah.
the expectation, Like I don't think you. I really wish I understood because again, you have just created a household name. There's no more looking at Miracle. Well, we can look at Miracle on 34th Street, but guess what? That's not my go-to anymore. That's not a as Lonnie B says, Home Alones and all the other Christmas
Right.
stuff. No, we have our own story, just like we had our own Wakanda, and that is what
Yes.
you have just done for Christmas. And I'm so excited about that because I can say it, I can show it any time of the year, right? I can watch it when I want to feel good, when I want to reconnect, just like I pop in Black Panther, when I want to feel good and I want to reconnect. But it's just so I kind of want to know then, and you know what, and I don't want to leave out your better half. We don't. Is there anything that you want to tell us that David has in the works? And I'm going to save this last question for you specifically, but can you just kind of talk to us about what David has going on, and what are some other things y'all may be doing together?
Yeah, well, we got a few things in the works. Haven't really nailed on. We're looking at options is a good thing, and kind of just trying to just revel in this for a minute because it's been a go, 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 and we haven't had a moment, not a second. So now we're just kind of stepping back, taking our time, and allowing ourselves to be inspired.
Right, inspiration, right?
Inspiration.
So, so
Well,
when
Andy, before you get to your last, can I just put in a request that there is a jingle jangle dollhouse?
Absolutely. Yes, no, that is definitely some of the things I am continuing. I'm trying to build out the Jingle Jangle universe. I would love toys, Christmas ornaments, all of those types of things. That's really the goal. I would love to have that. I myself collect African American ornaments and Christmas ornaments, and they're very hard to find, like really quality ones. So I would love to do something like that.
Awesome. Okay, Andy Rose.
Oh no, that's good. That's good. I got excited again. And so, as we move into this next question, and you can just speak freely. I know you kind of alluded to it, but what's next for Lynn, Sis, and Talbert? What's next?
I'm going to continue to produce. I have some projects that David and I've been kind of saving in the vault that I'd love to bring to life, an animation that I've been working on for years that I want to do. And I'm leaving myself open. I feel like this opportunity has set the stage for me to do anything. And I'm, as I said, just allowing myself to kind of revel in this for a minute and be inspired and want to really show other artists that are coming up. This is a platform for them to see what they can also do in their careers. But I'm working on the books right now. Gonna have to do some readings and book tour, virtual book tour with that. Really excited about that because I wanted to do a children's book for years and years, and so this was just the perfect opportunity. But look at Booty, oh girl, that's a Booty girl. So yeah, and look, we have a special guest that wants to say hi.
What's up?
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
We're
Good,
good.
good.
We're good. Thank you.
Thanks for all the support. I'm glad y'all enjoying it.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
I'm up in the lounge. I'm in my Batman pajamas.
That's called pandemic ready, David. It's pandemic.
Yes,
Yes.
Don't ask us to stand. Don't ask us to stand.
Pandemic prepared. We're
Jingle
good.
Jangle pajamas. You say
Look, you're
everybody's jumping out.
Good. Oh, hi.
Hey, handsome.
Handsome.
Yes.
Bye. Love you. Bye, mommy. Bye bye.
Oh.
Love it.
Oh,
Boy,
I
mom.
remember those days.
Yes. Yes.
Love it. Okay, so anyone else do you have any questions in the chat? Did anyone put any questions?
Questions?
No, Valerie just said she'll be patient.
Oh.
No, there were no questions. Someone did say that kids and adults love music. This was awesome. So the numbers have been going up and down, but I know that people have enjoyed it. Someone just posted and said, "Wow, thank you both for writing such an amazing story."
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, no questions though.
No questions. I know
No.
we had so many. So we went into all the different chat rooms on Facebook because we thought about starting a jingle jangle group. 'Cause
Yeah.
and so we was looking. I was trying to post to let people know that we were going to talk with you, and I had so many responses coming back saying, "Oh my God, tell them thank you for this. This is going to be great. Y'all are awesome for reaching out. Can we figure out how to do this mainstream?" Like a lot of people got a lot of overwhelming feedback, and I was just surprised that our page numbers were people coming in and just posting. And so yeah, y'all have you've done this, and I thank you for being obedient.
Thank
22
you.
years, it is your time. And you just told us another thing. That was another Easter egg you gave to us, that God will enlarge your territories when you are ready. And so be patient, be faithful, endure, right? Endure, good or bad, endure, stay the course and stay on the journey.
Yes, yes, on the
Stay
journey.
on the journey. Lynn, can you tell us where we can pick up the book from one more time so that those
Yes, it's wherever books are sold, Amazon.com, Target.com, you name it. You put it in whatever usually Amazon people are pretty much comfortable. So you can pick it up on Amazon. The audio you can pick up at any audio platform, audible.com. There's a few other platforms. If you like audiobooks, you can put it in and pre-order and it'll pop in your library on December 1st. And the books will ship out December 1st. And remember, if you get it, you get Square Root of Possible from the soundtrack for free.
December 1st, December 1st. That for those of you that's after Cyber Monday.
Yes, yes.
Perfect
It's
Christmas
Jangle
gift.
Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Lynn, do you have anything else you want to add or?
No, I just really appreciate everyone for watching. I love your responses. Please continue to share with all of your friends and family so that we can continue to make films like this, because that's what it's about. We have to show support so that they know that these stories are valuable and that we can continue to make them. So thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. And Lynn, if everyone wants to keep up with you or stay in the know of what Lynn is doing, how can they do that?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at lynnsissentalbert.com, at Lynn Sissentalbert. On Twitter, it's at Lynn Talbert, and on Facebook, it's at Lynn Sissentalbert as well.
Okay, and we'll get that up and make sure we put that on our page as well. So those who are viewing, do not fret. We'll put it there, and you can click directly to it, as we will be following as well. I think we already are, but I know for sure on our your Twitter. That's the one I did not add. So Lynn Talbot,
That's
right?
okay.
Okay.
Yes, at Lynn Talbert on. But if you go on my Instagram, Lynn Sisson Talbert, you'll find the others. I'm not from the era of social media, so I'm not as good. I'm getting there. I'm trying to be better. I have a bit of an aversion sometimes. I guess as you get older, but I'm trying to be better so that I can keep everyone informed. So thank you for being patient with me.
No, as long as you get there, right?
Yes.
Lynn, again, on behalf of my SiSStaS Keeper, sisters, y'all have anything else you want to add? Say, we do.
No, no,
Just thank you.
thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank you.
much
Thank you.
for taking out the time to speak with us tonight.
Thank you, Pumpkin, and thank all of you. I appreciate you keeping me, my sisters.
Yes.
My SiSStaS Keeper, right? And we just again, so for those of you who are tuning in, you were in for a treat. Hopefully you heard it, play it back, play it 3 times again, and then go watch the Netflix hit Jingle Jangle: A Christmas Journey. And again, and we're going to probably revisit this because these are conversations that we need to keep reminding people of. But we thank you, Lynn. We look forward to you. We bless you. We pray for you in your journeys. And again, thank you for lifting while you, how do I call it? Lifting while you climb. And so, that's phenomenal because people don't understand what that means. Lift as you climb. And so thank you for reaching back. Thank you for taking the time to show that, you are available. And so we're going to have you on while we do our little famous closeout of My SiSStaS Keeper. So you have you have just tuned in to My SiSStaS Keeper. So to my sister, sometimes you have to forget how you feel. Sometimes you have to forget how you feel and remember what you deserve. You are my keeper and know that I am yours first. So straighten your crown and never be afraid to stand out. Inhale confidence, exhale doubt. Until next time, queens and kings, you have watched and we are my sister's keeper. SI double
Double S
T A
TAS.
S.
Yeah.
Yes. Until next time, happy holidays, be safe, wear a mask, and social distance.
Yes.